Hello friends, today is the last day of our online 1 week certificate course on mangrove ecology. Till today you have studied different concepts of mangrove ecosystem, what is the importance of mangrove, different varieties of mangroves, fauna associated with mangroves, different products obtained from mangroves, threats to the mangrove, sustainable use of mangrove, etc. So today we are going to study the another aspect of sustainable development of mangrove, that is mangrove ecotourism. Friends, you are well familiar that mangroves are hugely biodiverse ecosystem home to unique vegetation species that are adapted to live in the dynamic coastal zone and a range of terrestrial and aquatic fauna such as insects, crabs, snakes, charismatic megafauna such as otters, crocodiles, deer, and Royal Bengal tiger. But most of the mangrove cover is declining day by day due to development, some of the government policies, etc. Mangroves also face future threats related to climate change, including increasing storm intensity and accelerated sea level rise. To address this, a number of neoliberal economic tools have been promoted for mangrove conservation, including corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility, that means every industry has some funds for conservation activity. Payment for ecosystem services, that is tax on every natural product, and ecotourism. These tools utilize the benefits provided by mangrove systems to provide the ecosystem with financial value in order to offset alternative land use. Then what is ecotourism? Ecotourism is defined as a form of travel that is responsible to the natural area, is done with conserving the environment and preserve the life or well-being of local residents. Ecotourism is about connecting conservation, communities and sustainable development, but without major impact on natural ecosystem. So it is not a mass tourism. Ecotourism potentially represents a set of sustainable tourism principles that utilize the cultural ecosystem services of habitats to provide income to tourism operators and local communities. Ecosystem means natural systems like a river, a pond, lake, a mountain, hill, etc. So ecotourism includes ecosystem as well as a tourism. That means whenever we are visiting to any ecosystem, that is called as a ecotourism. Ecotourism must be implemented correctly in order to minimize the adverse impact of tourists on local habitats. These impacts can be physical, including increasing shoreline erosion, noise, pollution, and social, including the exclusion of local operators and communities. We need to understand these impacts and how to reduce them. There are twin goals behind ecotourism. One is biodiversity conservation and another is sustainable development. So ecotourism, the main aspect is conservation of nature by giving profit for the development of local people. So what should be the characteristic of ecotourism? It involves travel to natural destinations like any wildlife habitat, any pond ecosystem, any mountain, any river system, like that. It should provide financial benefits and empowerment for the local people, and there should be minimize impact on the nature. It builds environmental awareness among people, supports human rights and democratic movements, and provides direct financial benefit for conservation. What is the importance of ecotourism? It utilizes all type of natural resources, that may be landscapes, mountain, biodiversity areas, rivers, etc. There should be a one message, that is, we are part of a nature. We are living in a nature. We have to live with the nature. So we have to maintain the balance of nature. So this is not just tourism, but it is a awareness regarding conservation of nature. So main focus is on local culture, wilderness, adventures, and environment protection. Ecotourism is also useful to find out the ecological diversity of the country, popularize secluded part of the country, that is hidden part of the country, and generate revenue without disturbing the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Ecotourism resources in India. India has a prime position in the field of tourism among world's top 50 tourist destination countries. In India, tourism sector is the second largest net foreign exchange earner. India is one of the rare countries which has wonderful blend of all the resources essential to make it as a golden start on the tourism map of the world. India is the land of varied geography, one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries. India has a rich cultural heritage. Thenmala is the first planned ecotourism destination in India. Thenmala is located in Kerala. Thenmala means honey hills. High quality of honey is exported from this area, and it has been selected by World Tourism Organization as one of the premier eco-friendly project in the world. Mangrove area is also one of the important spot for the ecotourism. India has a rich diversity of mangroves. Northern Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Sundarban Delta is the largest mangrove area which is located in the West Bengal. Then Koringa, Godavari Delta, Krishna Estuary, Andhra Pradesh, Bitukanika and Mahanadi Delta, Orissa, Pichavaram in Tamil Nadu, Goa, Kunapur in Karnataka. Not only that, in our Maharashtra, our sea coast is a well-developed mangrove belt, that is mainly in Ratnagiri and Achara. So we can develop a very good eco tourism spots in our area also. These are different forms of ecotourism in India. Sometimes wildlife tourism, sometimes agricultural tourism is there, or village tourism is there. Mangrove ecotourism have developed different community-based business. For example, homestay programs, local seafood restaurant business, fisheries product, etc. So it benefits operators, association trust funds, or community development fund. It increases local income. It gives alternative employment for the fishermen, and it reduces the fishing pressure which is present on the fishermen, and conservation and protection of mangrove resources also. There are different policies which develop ecotourism initiative in different states. Different facilities are developed for ecotourism, that is mangrove boardwalk, interpretation center, research centers. Then sometimes in ecotourism, mangrove trails, boat ride, bird watching, fireplay watching, visit to fishing and aquaculture, charcoal making. These are some of the activities which are arranged at different ecotourism spots of the mangrove. While doing ecotourism, there should be certain, we have to follow certain guidelines. So first, prepare for your trip. Educate yourself about your destination. Learn about local history, customs, and cultures as well as vital ecosystem. Learn the basics of the local language so you can understand the nature very easily. Then approach travel with the desire to learn rather than just observe. Respect local traditions and etiquettes. Appropriate clothing must be there. Be aware of people's sensitivity to being photographed. Observe local customs. Remember that you are the visitor, so you have to maintain certain etiquettes. Different concepts of time, personal space, communication, etc. Avoid ostentatious display of wealth, extravagant to another culture, for example, camera, jewels, technological gadgets, create barriers and inhibit the genuine interactions. Be flexible in your expectations. Don't expect so much because you are going to travel in a local environment. So don't expect five-star treatment. Adapt yourself to the situation rather than trying to adapt the situation to you. The main aim of ecotourism is to conserve the resources, practice environmental minimum impact, choosing a tour operator or guide, support local economic bridging, cultural gaps, and continued ecotourism. There are certain issues and challenges in mangrove ecotourism development. Lack of understanding on ecotourism from the development perspective is one of the challenge. Then lack of professional nature guides, merging art and science, lack of interpretation facilities, education and awareness programs, language barrier, lack of interest in some programs, lack of monitoring programs. So ecotourism has very high scope in future. Ecotourism industry is flourishing. Only careful planning and target oriented approach is required. Ecotourism attracts a range of participants from local tourists to international tourists of varying socio-economic levels, from young backpackers and students to high-end tourism clients. Thus, ecotourism has the potential to bring in substantial new revenue sources into an area. If ecotourism is successful, we'll also encourage livelihood diversification by promoting more and different employment opportunities. Several jobs are created during ecotourism operations. Only there is a need to train the local people to keep the staff and the tourist happy. And second thing, there must be a desire in the local community to want to take the new job. So there is a very high scope for ecotourism in future. Government schemes and policies are there to develop or to flourish the ecotourism. Only the need is that we have to act as a responsible traveler. Thank you.